Okay, I think we're live here. This is my first time using StreamYard, so bear with me. There he be. Okay, so you guys can see me. So thank you for joining. As always, I'm just here to have some fun running trains and talking with you guys, and I'll just wait for some more people to roll in here and make sure all my technology is working. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, that's good. So yeah, today I wasn't really planning on doing an actual video since I have so much stuff to deal with the whole collection, and I decided instead I'll do a live stream. And I also decided to make this kind of a test bed live stream for StreamYard. I've never used StreamYard. I've only ever used my phone to um, do live streams. So I decided why not do it here? And I think this is a good place to start, especially with the setup I have now. I have a good microphone. I have this webcam and another webcam. Plus, I got some cool trains to run today, so that will be cool. And let's just see. Let me look at the chat and see what people are saying. Everyone's just saying hello. I'm glad you guys are all here. Thanks for joining. It's always cool to see people watching live streams. And someone said, "I got wheels." Cool. Cool. Okay, someone actually asked a question here. What's your favorite railroad? Well, I actually said this on a podcast I was on recently. There's no really main railroad in particular, but the kind of railroad I like the most is a coal hauler railroad. The railroads that haul lots of coal, like the C&O, the N&W, the DM&IR, and the Union Pacific pulled coal. Just all these big railroads with big articulated steam engines that pulled a lot of coal. Another question is, what is your favorite steam locomotive? And I see that's okay from Brendan's Trains. Um, that's a really hard question because I have so many. There's so many different kinds of steam engines. Um, the steam engine I have the most of is a Hudson. I love the 464 wheel arrangement. It's just like a perfect steam engine. It looks really good. That's probably one of my favorites. And if you guys want to, you guys can keep asking questions. And I see we have 20 or so people watching, which is cool. Glad to see you all watching. And I'm going to actually let someone on here. He's my buddy that is a friend of mine and also a customer of mine. So I'm going to let him on. This is also just part of testing StreamYard. I want to see if I can have guests on and how it works. So I'm going to let him on here. His name is Johnny.
Hey guys.
There's
I'm echoing a little bit, Sid.
Oh, let me fix that. I think my mic is just a little close. And just tell me if it's echoing more and more. And if
let's see. I think you're good now.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So this is Johnny. I'm going to adjust. There we go.
There we go.
This is my buddy Johnny, and he is just like me. He's in the trains. He has a very cool layout and some very nice engines and rolling stock. And Johnny, if you want to talk about yourself, son, go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on, Sid. I am one of the weirdos who managed to find Sid on YouTube like the rest of you guys. And obviously, you see his collection, and I found Sid through his upgrade videos. I thought that was really interesting. And after talking with Sid for a couple of times, I was intrigued enough to send him some engines from repair. And Sid's currently in the process of upgrading an engine for me for a custom project and repairing one of my engines. So he's been an awesome guy, and he's definitely someone I recommend. If you haven't gotten in contact with Sid, I mean, go for it. Like, he's such a cool dude. You'll learn so much from him.
Thank you, Johnny. And just to go a little more in depth with Johnny, well, if you haven't seen his videos, he hasn't done a ton on trains, but he did do a one very, very nice video. It's some of the best editing I've seen. He took his American Railroad 759 Burke and the passenger cars and ran it around his layout, but he put real steam sounds and diesel sounds over the video and even synced the whistle steam to it and everything. It was just amazing. And I made like a little cameo with some voiceover for the crew talk. But he has lots of cool stuff. He's going to be making more videos in the future, especially with all the stuff that I have from him. I have a lot of trains from Johnny right now, and they
All my
will all,
trains are with Sid.
yeah, all of his trains are with me, either getting upgraded or worked on. He has someone mentioned the other day they noticed that I had another S3 Northern tender, and that's from Johnny. He has a weathered S3 Northern, which is very cool, and I'm fixing it for him.
I expect to
But
see a double header video from you, Sid.
yes, I will do a double header video. I see some just looking at the chat here. We got Dakman in the house.
Ooh, Ravenhawk's here too.
And Ravenhawk, that's very cool. And I'm also now noticing the show feature of all the comments. This StreamYard is new to me, but this is all very cool. And our buddy Carter, our train storm, is here. And here's
Yay,
a cool
Carter! Woo!
comment from him. Lots of cool stuff. I'm glad to see you all here, and I'm actually going to change my camera feed so that I can show you some cool stuff I have going on. There we go. There's my new baby. That is my Union Pacific FEF Northern. It is a beautiful engine. Johnny loves it. I know.
I'm envious of it. He's been teasing it in my face for the past like couple of days now.
It's too nice of an engine, and Johnny loves it because Johnny is a big American Railroads fan. Speaking of that, you can see his weathered 759. It was weathered by one of our buddies. He did an amazing job on the weathering. That's some of the best weathering I've ever seen, and it's so accurate to the real thing. It's so cool. But I'm checking out the comments here. So,
it's definitely a nice engine.
Yeah, we'll go over that in a minute because it's too good and too cool to not look over. But we have some comments here. Zach is asking how I got interested with trains and what was your first train. I got interested with trains because my dad had slot cars and a train set, and when he pulled those out when I was younger, I just got into it, and it all grew from there. My first train set was a basic Lionel Scout set. Funny enough, I think it was sold from Target, I believe. Yeah, that was my first thing.
And your brother.
Oh yeah, my dad just popped the door open and told me my brother was interested into it, and he still is. He just isn't into the building of the layout and all of that kind of stuff. But he is interested in just running trains, and he has some stuff that I have a chassis system special that I've shown on the channel, and some New York Central GP9s. Those are his. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And all very cool stuff. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just checking over. Okay, cool. So Johnny, if you want to, you can go over your Burke there. Since you're on, you might as well. It's such a nice engine.
Oh, thank you, sir. Well, this is the Nickel Plate Road 759. This engine is currently at Steamtown, if I'm correct in that. Have you seen that engine in person before, Sid, or am I thinking of Burnsy?
It was probably Burnsy. If I did, it was a long time ago.
But this engine was restored by Ross Rowland for use on the Golden Spike Centennial Limited, which was a train that isn't as well known as others, but it was done during 1969 in honor of the centennial of the Golden Spike, and it was a beautiful train led by the Nickel Plate Road 759, and it was dressed up in this very, very beautiful blue and gold scheme. And it also had some. I'm going to move the tripod over a little bit here. Some matching passenger cars as well. And this train was kind of a precursor to the Freedom Train to show that um, steam excursions could go nationwide. So this train is even more unique in the regards of how many different locomotives participated in pulling the train, because it started with a Penn Central box cab, then the Burke took over, and then from there Union Pacific took over the train. The Centennial diesels actually were on the front of this train, and then it got out to Promontory. The train was pulled out to Promontory by no other than Union Pacific 8444, the exact model that Sid has. Hence why I am so jealous that he has that engine, because I would love to add it to my roster. But after that, it was given back to, it was taken from the FEF to the Union Pacific E9s, given to back to the Burke, and then it was brought back to the East Coast with GG1, which was also painted in these lovely blue and gold colors. But yeah, this is a
Mhm.
wonderful engine, and as Sid mentioned before, it was weathered by a good friend of ours, our friend Angel. He did a wonderful job and managed to he was able to dull down the colors from the super bright, almost toy like colors that Lionel put it in into these really realistic weathered colors, and it just matches beautifully with these MTH Premier passenger cars.
It really does. And Zach asked, "What's your favorite railroad, Johnny?"
What's my favorite railroad? I have to say my favorite railroad has to be Southern Pacific. My first steam engine was a Daylight, and it kind of got the ball rolling, and it's just gotten worse since then.
Oh yeah, the Southern Pacific is a great railroad to model, especially with the beautiful daylight colors.
For sure,
And
for sure.
someone, there was a comment somewhere. I was gonna
Isn't the Daylight your one of your favorite engines? You got a GS2
It
yourself,
is,
don't you, Sid?
it is one of my favorites. I can actually move my camera. It's sitting right there behind the buildings, and then all the passenger cars are over there. It is one of my favorites, and I personally love the GS2 more just due to I like the single headlight and the design of it a little more. But I just love the paint scheme in general. It's just so bright.
Didn't you
And
didn't you see I don't think it was a GS2, but you saw a GS6 recently, didn't you?
yes, I did see a GS6 recently. If you follow me on Instagram or you watch the sneak peek video I posted on Monday, I was at the St. Louis National Transportation Museum, and sitting um, at that museum is a Southern Pacific GS6 number 4460, I believe the last two
Yep.
numbers are 60. And it's a war baby, so it doesn't have the streamlining on the side or the daylight paint scheme, but it's this nice black paint scheme. And it's just so cool to see a GS engine that's not 4449. Not to say that 4449 isn't cool. It's just that's the one you hear about all the time, and it's neat to hear about others. And yeah, that was a very cool experience. And I will be doing a video on that whole museum. They have so much stuff because it's the National Transportation Museum. So it's not just what was in St. Louis. They had a big boy. They had my big boy. I call it mine because I have a 4006. So they had a 4006 big boy there. They had C&O Kanawha or Burke. They had a nickel plate road Hudson, the GS6. An Erie Lackawanna GP or SD unit. I don't know enough about them to remember what kind it was. They had a Mohawk. What 1522 is a forgot what kind of engine it was, but it was an Excursion engine that went all the way until like 2002. So they just have so many different things. Oh, and my favorite, they had a Y6A, a Norfolk and Western Y6A. I'm a big N&W guy, so that was very cool to see. But yeah, it's a very cool.
If memory serves me right, Sid, there was also another set there that really made you debate on getting a model of it. What's the name
Oh
of that set?
yeah, yes. Down in their little, at the museum when you walk in, there's this little shop over on the right, and there's a track next to it, and the track currently has an aero train sitting on it. It's one of the two aero trains that still exists, and it was in primer paint. It wasn't they hadn't restored it yet, but it's a very cool engine, and I definitely am going to consider getting one of those. let me switch back to my camera. And very, very, very cool engine, and definitely something I would consider getting. And Zach said SD45 for that question. Yes, and that the engine that I was talking about was an SD45. Then RW Channel said that yes, the GS2 is my mascot, and I like orange. I have this T-shirt. I'm like not grabbing it right. I have this T-shirt here, which is a little T-shirt I got from a friend, which is very cool. And then someone actually asked, did I get to see the Amtrak GG1 in St. Louis? Yes, I did. I have some pictures of it. It was very cool. It was undercover, but it was very, very rusty. The paint was peeling. Almost everything on that side of the museum under this one cover was very, very weathered, is a good way to put it. There was a box cab electric that looked like it had been like dunked in a tank of paint stripper. The paint was just falling right off. And it probably had been repainted like a million times. But it was a very cool place, and it's always cool to see. Oh, another electric. I'm just remembering all these things. They had a bipolar there. I didn't even know they had that there in the Milwaukee Road paint scheme. I love that paint scheme, and it's very cool that I got to see all those trains there. Definitely a place I would recommend going. If you're in that area, definitely stop by. It's a very cool place. They even had cool stuff in. They have cars as well. I'm a car guy, so they had cars inside, and they even had a little train layout inside. They had an HL one and an O gauge one, and in this display case, in the bottoms of them, they had G gauge trains. They had a full daylight set with the whole articulating cars.
I'd love to get
And
that.
yeah, I know that would be awesome. Be like a third rail set of daylight cars. It'd be awesome. But
Those are so
yeah,
expensive though, but they're so
I know
nice.
they are so nice. One day, when we have money.
Well, as long as I'm friends with you, Sid, I don't think I'll be having much money or all those upgrades, Sid.
uh, we have a question here. It's more model related. From Justin P. Have you thought about buying engines from third rail sunset models? I guess we can throw this question at both of us. Yes, I have. Um, I've just not really considered paying the price for them. That's the big issue. They are amazing models, but they can
Hmm.
cost a lot, and they cost a lot to get fixed because it's almost impossible for an old third rail model to work perfectly right out of the box. It's just it's not. Brass is very
Yeah.
finicky. What were you going to say, John?
I think for me, I think for me personally, like they're really nice engines. I've definitely been tempted by the ones I've seen with DJ, but they're just out of my price point.
Yeah,
They're nice, but I can't afford them.
yeah, it's definitely very definitely expensive and can be hard to afford. Um, and for me, I'm a person that works on my trains, and I love brass models. I have a handful of them, but I almost despise working on brass models because, for one, brass you can cut your hand, which isn't fun, and then second of all, it's just they're very finicky. They don't have the ruggedness of a diecast model, so that can be an issue when working on them. And you almost always need new electronics in them. TMCC
Mhm.
wise, they have old Train America Studios was the company before Electric Railroad, and all of their products go bad over time, and they just have to be replaced, or they were conventional. And by today's standards, you usually want to put command control in things, unless you're going for a more nostalgic thing. Which I love my Partisan One trains, but at some point you just gotta upgrade things.
Isn't that the same mentality you kind of have for your right of way trains right now?
Yes, um, right of way. My right of way stuff is all brass, and most of them have either old right of way sounds, or there was a company called OTT that made sounds for them, and they're all conventional and they're very nice. They can be finicky, and over time they'll just go bad. The sounds will go bad. Like my Berkshire, the sounds went bad, so I'm putting Legacy in mine, which is a ongoing process, but it's very cool, and I'm looking forward to um, having a legacy Burke. I've never had a legacy Burke, nor did I have a scale Burke until that final. Yes, that is something you have that I don't. Is a Lionel Burke is pretty much the nicest one you can get, but I bought mine for nostalgia, and it's going to be cool when I have Legacy in it. I see a question up here from Buddy Trainstorm. You were gonna say something, Johnny?
I was going to ask you, what led you up? What led up to you getting the right of way Burke? No, honestly, I didn't know right of way existed until I watched your video. So what was the reason behind you wanting to grab one?
Yeah, before I answer Carter's question, I'll answer that. I purchased from Entertainment Junction in Ohio a C&O mallet from Right of Way, and that was my first introduction to it. And it was just such a interesting, old school, and yet high tech engine. And I just researched it, and there was this guy on I think the TCA website that had a whole article about it, and it was just such a cool company. They built these brass trains in what was called scale plate. They were scale size trains, but they were meant to be. Uh, they had the ability of being ran on tight turns, which is why all the articulateds are kind of like a line master engine, where both drivers turn. And it was just such a cool company. It's like they were so ahead of their time and with everything, but whether it was the technology or the brass making itself. And if you were to put, say, a right of way Berkshire next to a Lionel Berkshire at the time, the Lionel Berkshire was a 736 post war Berkshire, while the right of way one was a full scale model. It looks just like the 765 you could go and see running at the time, I believe. And it was just they were so just cool. They were so cool, and the fact that it was out of Akron, Ohio, so it wasn't like just a company out of Asia or something like that. It was definitely just an interesting company. The story behind it is what really sold me on it.
Huh, that's really interesting. I never knew about that.
And then Carter or Trainstorm was asking, why did you, both of you, why did you choose O gauge instead of other scales? That's what I was given slash got into. I have HO stuff. It just like I'm just gonna pick up a train I have sitting. Nope, that's gonna turn on if I do that. I don't want that to happen. Just pick something up. I have so many trains here. I'm just gonna pick up like this tender that's sitting here. Okay.
Oh, you got too many trains? Oh, you can give them to me. I'll hold them for you.
They're so beefy. It's just they're just so big, and I like the scale of the size of them, and that was kind of my thing. That's what I was given, and I like the size.
If I had to say why I got into O scale over HO, so I did dabble in HO. My first set was a Rail King F40 set, and I loved in the GS2 as well. I had a Rail King GS2, and those were my first engines. I loved how powerful and loud they were. And you don't. I know that the sound sets in HO are good, but they aren't quite at the level of O scale that I like. I like the bassiness, like with the 759 next to me. If you crank the sounds up to full and you walk aside the engine, you can really feel like you're in the cab of the engine, or you're pacing it on the road with camera. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that with O scale, and I'm fortunate enough to have the space for that. But with HO, it's close, but it's really it's definitely a big competitor to O scale, and hence why it's so popular. But for me, I like the big heftiness of O scale with the sounds. That's what sells me on it.
Definitely. This is kind of the same thing for me. And a good example of it was I did a running session the other day with my S30 Northern in it, and I had the camera sitting right next to the tender where the sounds come out. And when I blew the whistle, it echoed and it was really bassy, and it's so powerful. It's just that's what I love about it as well. Like Johnny said. Um, I see a question. What's your favorite car? If you mean a freight car, I love a good coal car. Right, my thing. Um, I see Dackman said you didn't know about right of way either. Yeah, they were very interesting story. If you go onto the if you go onto Google and search right of way industries trains, some OGR forum posts will come up, and sadly, the owner, well, right of way went out of business in kind of a weird way. That's a whole long story. Um, Money was not dealt with the correct way, and it caused the company to go under. But the owner went passed away recently. I think he was actually a Maryland man. I think he was from
Oh, local
Maryland.
to you.
Yeah, kind of local to me. So it was kind of sad, but they had been gone for so long, so it's not like it meant anything to me, like totally personally. But there were some people that really knew him well.
Hmm.
But yeah, there was here was a question. Yeah, Right of Way is a cool company. You can go on eBay and find tons of their trains. Will
Oh,
2926. Hey Sid, quick question. I'm looking for those aluminum cars you have for the Milwaukee Road.
they're
Do
teasing me
you
now, Sid.
know anyone
They're teasing me
who
now,
has
Sid.
a set? Or I did not read that before I clicked on it. Or the best way to find them. I'm just gonna give you guys context. Johnny has an S3 and he loves my cars and he wants them, so that's why. I bought them from his local store, which is even more ironic. So
I
that's
was in the
why
call
he's
with him when our little informant from Chicagoland
yeah.
let you know that they had them, and
Hmm.
at the same time, both of us went, "Oh, we really want those." And then I realized that Sid's the only one who could actually afford them. So,
Yeah,
but those are beautiful cars.
they
I
are.
know I've been trying to hunt them down, but yeah, those cars are rare. They're hard to find.
These
I
are
they're
beautiful
beautiful.
cars.
You should show off that dome car if you can reach it,
Uh, Hold on.
because
I might as well. The dumb car is honestly the best car in the set. Um, there we go.
well,
Trying to.
while you pull those down, Sid, why don't you explain what you've done with those cars for those who don't know?
But first, to answer your question, well, I do not know of any for sale that are reasonably priced. If you would like to pay what a legacy engine costs for the passenger car, sure, you can buy them, but no, you don't. There's not really any for sale. Your best bet is just watching eBay constantly and a train show. Hopefully, they're sitting out on a table and not just in their box because the box is just a square lino box and you'll have to look through everything.
Honestly, as
But
a guy's in the same boat as you, like
yeah,
try settling for the K line ones if you can. They're
yeah,
aluminum as well, and they're really nice. They're not quite as nice as the Lino ones in my opinion, but those are a pretty decent alternative. That's what I've been
there.
considering.
This is the nice car. The real difference between the K line ones and these is I hear someone. My dad's like outside. Okay. Um, I just hear my dad outside, and this is a nice car. And the difference between this car and the K line one is this car, if you look closely, has this silver striping around the windows, and it really gives this elegance to it in a way. It's definitely it definitely looks good. And what I did to these cars is I put LEDs in them. These had old incandescent bulbs in them originally, and the incandescent bulbs just did not look very good. And if they will, I actually need to redo my wiring inside of these because I have a new setup for my lighting. But if I grab my little camera here and adjust my camera shot, there we go. This is what they look like now. I can even
Wow.
get you down here, and it's LED lighting. And something that you might be able to see if I turn off my lights, these two is you see there's three bulbs there, three there, and three there. I gave it three little strips to give it this look of individual light bulb sockets in the top of these cars, just to give it this cool effect. And there's people inside. These were from the time when Lino put people inside, and they are just beautiful cars, amazing. Uh, they would be flicker free if I wired them correctly, but well, the setup inside is not the best. I've actually redone my LED lighting setup. If you watched my caboose video recently, you can literally pick up that caboose. Like, see, I just moved the car and they flicker. Um, but that caboose I could pick up and it would stay on for a solid like 2 or 3 seconds, which is really cool. But yeah, turn my lighting back
Yeah,
on.
those are nice dome cars. To give like a comparison, like I've got a K-line 15-inch dome car right here. The
Yeah.
main difference, this is obviously it's really compressed because it's a 15-inch car. But if I move my camera in a little bit closer here for you, and then raise it up a little bit, you can see how the spacing is on these dome cars right here. If you get the I think it's either 18-inch or 21-inch version of this in the Milwaukee road paint scheme, you will not. If you look at Sid's, he'll have more stripes in between for the braces here. You don't have that on the K line. They still kept the same tooling for this. So if you do decide to go for the K line ones, be mindful of that. That's something that I'm like, I want a dome card. It's iconic, but that's one of the things that holds me back personally from getting the K line version.
Yeah. If you're willing to wait, just wait for the Lionel ones to come up. The cars are more rare than the S3 Northern number 260. Well, any S3 Northern to begin with. All the S3 Northerns are quite rare now.
They're going for crazy prices as well. Those prices got super inflated after a certain amount of time.
They sure did. I was lucky to find a good deal at Brady's train outlet.
I got a good deal for mine, but I definitely paid the price for mine, as you can attest to when he saw it for the first time.
Yeah, but his is still a cool engine, and it's definitely unique for.
Well, it's a weathered engine as well.
Let's see here. Zach asks, for both of you, have you thought of finding the Century Club Burke? Well, I actually have it. It's impossible to see from this camera shot, but it's up on my shelf and has probably the most amazing whistle I can think of.
I want one so bad. I've seen them go around. I've seen a couple on eBay. I've seen some at my local hobby shop, and I look at them and I'm like, I really want one. I really want one, but push comes to shove, other engines come first. But it's on the list. I do want to get one for sure.
Mm-hmm. What else we have here? I think that it's what, an Alaska one you have?
Yeah, it's an Alaska one. It's one of the few sets that actually. It's one of those Rail King sets that came out in the early 2000s, but you never see it online. I've searched YouTube for it. You can find one really blurry 240p video of it with Loke sounds pulling freight cars of all things, and it hurts me because that was my childhood set. So kind of a really small self promo. I'm planning to start a new series where I showcase every Saturday a different item from my collection, and the first one will be the Alaska F40 with the matching dome cars. So it'll be a first on YouTube. So if you want to check out my channel, you can. If you subscribe, you can expect to see that in the next week or two.
Mm-hmm. And here, this is just card our Train Storm. Speaking of, if you have not already checked out Train Storm or Card,
oh my god, yeah.
Very cool stuff. He, like you said, he was into O gauge, but now he's into HO. He has amazing collection of Berkshires. He has 765 and 1225, both I think MTH models, and they have the whistle steam. They're just such amazing models for being HO, and he has a really cool layout. And he also belongs to a club that has a very nice setup. So definitely go check him out.
He's also got an awesome Thomas collection as well.
Oh, yes.
With his customs and all his projects he's got going on for that. I definitely, if you like Thomas stuff, definitely check out his channel. He's awesome. He's a great guy.
Also, if you've been on YouTube and you are sort of watched the Thomas community, he is building a original. He accidentally is done that because of a mishap with some painting, but he's building he's creating the shell of the engine that was sitting next to whatever Gordon's pond. It looked like Thomas.
Is that what that's from?
What?
Is that what that's from? I was wondering what you guys were talking about. You were talking about like Reginald.
Yes, that's that engine. GWR Studios created that engine because when he was doing the Lionel Goofs video, he was like, "Is that Thomas?" He was like, "It looks just like Thomas. It's just they used a shell." But yeah, we have Matt's Trains here. We have Nick's Crossing. Cool to see you guys here. We also have Rail Chief. Very cool to see you here. Hey, Rail Chief. And then, so actually, I do have a set of Santa Fe heavyweights that need to be updated LEDs. Is that difficult? That's not very difficult at all. If you're interested, you can go onto my About section of my channel and find my email. And you can email me and I can talk with you about upgrading those. It's not very hard. I do LED upgrades all the time. I'm actually doing some for Johnny with his daylight passenger cars. He has
Yep.
K-line cars and I'm upgrading to LEDs.
And hopefully the American Railroads cars too, both as a so I can get some LEDs and so Sid can he can play with those cars because I know he's been eyeing those up.
Yes. We have Eric's preview shows here, and what else we got here? Very cool stuff. I'm just reading through the comments, more and more stuff. What does it say? I bought oh, cool. So you said I bought an AC DC rectifier to convert my 2023's horn off battery power. Very cool.
It's cool. Damn, wow.
I don't collect a lot of post-war, but I got my start in working on older stuff. Probably one of the first trains I ever worked on was a Commodore Vanderbilt, the one from 1996. So obviously it wasn't post-war, but it had a post-war style Pullman motor. And then I've worked on tons of post-war things. I've worked on the NW2s, some F3s, Berkshires, a bit of everything. They're kind of all the same in a sense because all the motors are very similar. Ravenhawk says, y'all should totally bring me on the show. I have a feeling Johnny is containing himself because
he should.
Johnny would
he should.
really love to.
Well, I've heard that you two talk, so I'm like I've enjoyed hearing watching Stirling's content, and I think he's a really chill dude. So I think it'd be really fun to talk to.
Let's see, Eric's preview show. I have an amazing Thomas collection too, only by Bachman HO. That I'm in. Ooh, that's cool. You're in Australia.
Love your channel, by the way. I've been watching a lot of the stuff you've uploaded, and a lot of good, really classic videos you upload as well. So awesome stuff.
Stirling. Are we getting some Stirling action in here? Is that what's going on here?
Ooh.
Is this let's see here. I can let him in if that's what is that what the jury's saying? We want to let Stirling in.
Dakman's giving a thumbs up.
If Dakman says yes, then let's go right ahead.
Dakman is the deciding factor if Stirling is to be on or not.
And what else we got here? Rail Chief 74 says, thanks for letting me borrow your videos for my running session, Sid. Always for that. Oh, he says send me on Facebook. I will go on Facebook.
I recognize his name. Yeah, you were just talking about Rail Chief the other night. He's got some good stuff.
I was talking about how I gave him my the clip of my not mine RJ's 914 10-wheeler, the Canadian Pacific one. Speaking of that, we're going to be opening some things I got from RJ recently. But I am taking forever to send a simple link to somebody because I'm
fingers crossed for Carter just talked about how his new Thomas body show should be coming in this Saturday. So fingers crossed for you, man.
Yeah, I hope we don't have to create two Reginalds.
Well, at that point, then it's just a win-win that he can just finally build a giant scrapyard of old engines. Then.
Oh yeah, and we have Slag Cat is here. Cool to see you here. I love your CNO Progress logo. Very cool. Will 2926. You're trying to get started on YouTube. It is sometimes hard to get started, but you just have to be yourself and just make videos. The more content you make, the more likely it is to get into the algorithm and just spread. Over 4 years, I've gained 2,000 subs, and I'm where I am now, and I have my business, and it's very cool. So definitely keep up with it if you're into it. And everyone, go check out each other's channels. It's always good to help the community out and spread the word about each other. And everyone makes good content. Everyone's different, which is good because it provides variety. Nobody is like me. Nobody's like Johnny. Everyone's different in some way, shape, or form. So definitely go check everyone out. And I see our little friend has joined us.
Oh no, he's here, the mad lad himself.
Greetings, internet foamers.
We have Ravenhawk 6910 here, or Stirling, as some of you may know him. He has joined the house, and he has some cool stuff behind him. I see your S1 is there.
Yeah, I actually had to move it earlier. I was shifting some stuff around in here earlier. I've been trying to get some filming done, but oh boy.
Whatever works. Cool to have you on, and if you
Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, I'm always willing to just more experimenting. I've never used StreamYard before, so this is cool to mess around with this some and get more used to live streaming. Plus, I have more than just my phone that always lags.
I hear you on that one. I'm not quite up to snuff myself. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, Ravenhawk. I don't think mine's quite up to date.
Oh God, I haven't seen one of those in years.
Well, you don't like my 2 rows of keys there I could use to dial up somebody?
Circa 1997.
I think I need to update my phone. I don't think I can record train videos with that one.
We have a.
I mean, it could be worse. You could have a rotary dial.
That's true. That's true. That was my last phone.
Very cool stuff. We actually have a question for you, Stirling.
No.
I'm
Crickets.
clueless.
Crickets.
I'm clueless.
I have no clue what that is. We also have someone saying, nice train phone. Very cool Southern Crescent train phone.
Thank you. It's
But,
from a coworker of mine. His grandfather used to work for the railroad, and his family didn't really keep up with that. So he's like, "Hey, you're into trains. You want it?" And it's something that was passed on to me. So I'm a proud current owner of it, current curator of it.
Very cool. While I'm waiting for more comments or something, I'm actually going to just keep some people entertained by opening up 2 items that I got from my buddy RJ today. I gave him back his 4501 Mikado, and I got him a boxcar Menards, and he also had that 10-wheeler. But in return for some we kind of traded some things. I got these milk cars. Kind of hard to see. These are Milwaukee Road milk cars. One's in the Hiawatha paint scheme, and the other one is in this really cool blue paint scheme. And I'm going to put them onto my long boxcar train I have here. So let me open these up.
For the love of God, tell me they have the old style trucks.
Yes, yes, they do. What 2004? That tells you that they are not bad.
Thank God.
Did you get any of those with the bad? Oh, you got one.
I got one. I got that Chateau Martin Wines one, and I've already gone ahead and taken the trucks off of it. I'm just waiting to get funds to get some more.
Yeah,
I'm kind of tied down with some other obligations at the moment.
Yeah, understandable. For those who don't know, myself is kind of on the fence with this one. So what exactly is wrong with those trucks for those who don't know about them?
Sterling would know the most.
Well, basically, here, let me, where did I put those things? Let me look real quick.
I actually have this here so I can show you a comparison. I'll just set mine right here so you can.
Stirling has banished them to the void because they have displeased him.
Ah, here they are. So here's the issue with them. Primarily, if you look closely here, here's one of the new trucks that came off the new ones. So they basically did some cost-saving measures on these cars. So flip yours upside down, Sid, and let's compare the bottom of it here. So there's the old design, and then here is the new design. You can see here that for one thing, the drop plate isn't as large as it is on Sid's. Also, this center section here across the top of the truck, this is plastic.
Ooh.
Like a very thick plastic.
Yeah.
Also, the couplers also, they're probably metal as well, but they also have a bit of a plastic feel as well. Definitely the ends right here, where the actual knuckle is, that's definitely plastic. You can feel that.
Yeah, mine are metal, that's for sure. So
and the problem is, like, here's the other coupler. They'll couple to each other smooth as butter, just perfectly fine. But if we take, like, say, an Atlas hopper, why not? And try to couple them together. The thing is that they will shift around in the knuckle while you're moving, and they won't stay. They either won't couple up at all, or they cause the coupler to bind up, and you have a derailment.
Ooh. That's not optimal.
So that's the problem, and it's all because of this design change. Why Lionel did it, my guess, is just as a cost-saving measure, but it's a cost-saving measure that's backfired on them.
Oh, for sure. There's been tons of complaints.
Which, I mean, at the end of the day, I only bought one of them, so I can just find some old trucks and put those on there. But those people who bought a lot of them, you really feel bad for them.
Right.
Because I know Nick bought a few of them, and he's having that same problem.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
There's some New York Central guys that buy a bunch of them because the New York Central had a lot of milk cars, and when you buy
That's right.
When there's 6 of them, that's 12 trucks that you gotta deal with. But here's the first one. This is in this really cool blue color, and just like all of them, I'm pretty sure I'll have to pop the roof off here. It's very tight, but there's the insides with the tanks.
Wow, that's nice.
These are probably the most detailed, I say, steam era kind of car Lionel makes, probably, next to their hoppers.
I mean, they're cool, but my problem with them is that the roof is really hard to keep back in place once you take it off.
That is true. That's exactly what I'm having right now.
As it's discovering in real time.
I have to pop this little button over this plastic, or try to not break it while I'm doing it in the process.
What? Not break it on stream? Nah.
Look, it's trains. You can do a live repair.
Hey, ideas.
Yes, good ideas.
Point of view. You watch Sid repair his train that he broke.
These are not my first ones. This is a Railway Express Agency one I have. So maybe I can get this one out as well while I'm at this. But let me somehow get this freaking roof back on. Lionel, why do you make my life so hard?
Get the reset tool, Sid. The big.
There we go. I had to open the door.
You mean this?
Oh yeah, there you go. The Lionel reset tool. Fix it for first time every time.
Come on. Close enough. What I did is close enough.
Good enough for government work.
There we go. There's that one, and let me get this Hiawatha one out. This is the one I'm actually most interested in because I think I will put this one at the front of my Hiawatha when I'm running it. If I can get it out of the box.
Sid's teasing me with all these Milwaukee road engines. He's got my S3 hostage there, and he's teasing me with all these milk cars and passenger cars.
I got something that'll make a Milwaukee Road fan cringe.
Oh no.
There you go.
I know what it is.
There you go.
That is a very cool engine.
They're all on the ground. Just,
Evil laughter, evil laughter.
That's a nice engine, though.
It really is. It's fun. It's surprisingly quiet.
Really?
Compared to I know this one's only got one speaker compared to the 2 that the GG1 had. But prime mover sound-wise, it really doesn't make that much noise. So,
yeah.
I mean, horn and bell and crew sounds are nice and loud, but just doesn't hum quite as loudly as others, which, could be a good or a bad thing.
It's a nighttime engine. It's when you don't want to wake up anybody in the house.
There you go.
It's because it's mystical. It's a very magical train since you have to believe that it's there.
God, I can just see that, everyone that doesn't believe, and it's I'm just holding nothing.
Just holding nothing there.
They think I'm doing Lady Gaga claws.
Well, Sterling, you have to remember, there was an incident that happened where the Polar Express got too many noise complaints, so they had to switch to a bipolar instead. The burp was too loud.
Well, funny enough, I think the thing that I like about this one, and people are like, "Oh, it's not from the film, it's not from the story." Well, here's the thing: Lionel's made a bunch of Polar Express freight cars in the last several years, both scale and 027. That's where I think this shines.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any of those cars yet, but I certainly would like to get some because, sure, I mean it's a passenger locomotive, but let's just say, for example, fanfic, if you will. Let's just say, oh well, this engine gathers the supplies from all around the world and whatnot for Santa's elves to make the whatever. And then, if need be, if something's wrong with the Burke, then it can power the train.
What was it? Our buddy Carter, Trainstorm. I was talking with him the other day, and he's very passionate about the movie, and he's a great guy to talk to if you love the Polar Express. But he's like, well, if you really want to stretch it, look at the movie, look at the back of the North Pole when that's all happening. You can see clearly some like buildings that resemble engine sheds and smoke rising from it and all that. So at that point, you can.
Oh boy! Now we look like Jeopardy contestants.
That did look like that. I'm messing with the settings because I have no clue how any of this works. But for any of you interested there,
and now here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
There we go.
Oh wait, you can't do that anymore. Rip in peace.
In memory.
That is a beautiful 844.
He's been teasing me with it ever since he got it. From the moment he saw it, he's been sending me pictures nonstop.
I'm sorry, but it
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
You are a liar.
I am not sorry at all. No, I'm not. But this looks better than a regular black 844, in my opinion. It's just
It really does.
elegant. It's gorgeous. I love the pinstriping. And the light silver is accurate because when they repainted it and renumbered it had a lighter silver if you look at pictures. But it's beautiful. I always love the Timken caps on the end. I don't know why. Those just look really
Nice.
good.
Plus, just a nice little extra detail, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, with me, if I liked 8444, I liked her in the Greyhound scheme better than the black. But that's just me. This is still a great model.
Wasn't she in Greyhound when she raced up Cajon with 4449?
You're correct.
That was so cool.
The most memorable thing with this engine and me is Shining Time Station. That's probably my most.
Oh,
and that's exactly how it appeared in the show.
Yeah. Speaking of, let me move this thing forward.
That whistle.
Pirated.
Like almost reached to the screen.
Oh, we're gonna get a photo run by.
Ooh.
Get my camera ready.
Like, kick out that one guy who's always standing in front of everybody else's camera shot.
Dispatcher, are we clear through the crossing? Over. Copy that. Sir, over. Thank you, sir. Clear signals ahead. Out.
And for any of you wondering, all these cars are new, include this entire train. I think almost every car in this train is brand new, except for two at the end.
Are those any of the Menards cars that you got by chance?
Yeah, the ones at the end, when I pull it by, or I can actually just show you here. All of these cars at the end are Menards, except for that white one is actually the original tooling for the Menards car. It's a KMT Kentucky Fried Chicken car. But yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah, two of those Milwaukee Road cars towards the end. Man, I wonder where you got the second one from.
Yeah, I have no clue where I got it from. Some guy, his name was John, I think. I don't remember.
Some weird guy from Chicago probably gave it to you.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to get my milk cars into this train. And, if he's watching, thank you, RJ. These cars are beautiful. RJ's a big milk car guy, and he had these. These don't really fit in with his New York Central and Long Island Railroad themed milk cars. So there we go. And I'll pull 8444 up here.
Oh, I heard a diesel starting up there.
Yeah, here's all the Menards cars.
For 027 cars, the weathered ones look really, really nice.
They do look really good. I truly understand why people love that whistle now.
Yeah, it's got the same whistle as my Challengers do.
When
Yeah.
I went over to GFW's layout, George and Wally ran. They have their 844. I think it's actually Grandpa George's. I ran theirs, and I went really whistle happy because that's such a nice whistle.
Let me, I'm actually going to park the train over here so I can look at the comment section for a minute.
Also, Sid, I call witchcraft on your layout because that boxcar looked puny on my layout, but it looks huge on yours.
Magic of camera angling.
Witchcraft. And then for any of you N&W fans, let's watch some magic. See that smoke lingering in the air? Watch this. Magic. There's your witchcraft. No, that's just But for any of you N&W fans, there's an unshrouded J. I'm going to look through these comments here because there's a ton of them.
It's a long consist.
It is a long consist. Unfortunately, Lyle's also put milk car trucks in newly released 60-foot cars. It's just going back to that topic before. Yeah, hopefully Lionel can fix that for all the new stuff. Like, that was something... I did not order anything from the new catalog, but I was considering buying the, what's it called? The Mohawk and the Pacemaker cars, but I was just like, do I really want to risk getting those Pacemaker cars and having those really bad trucks? And then
Yeah.
I don't need a Mohawk. I already have one. And instead, I got a Class A, an Unshrouded J, and now I'm getting a Y6V. So,
I'd say that's a pretty good call.
yeah, I'm happy with that. Oh, that's the Rio Grande one. I love that engine. Very unique.
Oh, I'm so jealous of that thing.
Let's see how I do this.
Sterling, I remember in your review you said that you showed that to a video of that engine to one of your non-trained friends, and when they saw all that smoke, I tried that same trick on one of my coworkers, and they exact same reaction with all the smoke effects.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what adds to so much of the realism. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to run them without it sometimes, but especially on these Vision Line Challengers, I mean they're great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kill the sound here, so that way it's not interrupting the stream.
Let's see what else we got here. What a
The 4014's the same way. I mean, unfortunately I got to get the 4014 smoke unit fixed because it went out on me. Oops. Well, it was one of those problems, like you mentioned, Sid, in one of your videos about the smoke heating up real quick and then burning out.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. That's what happened to 4014. It still runs, but
yeah. What else? My buddy Matty C Trains said, "What a fail on Lionel's behalf of the trucks." I'm assuming, but yeah, those were definitely a mess up. And speaking of Matt, if you guys have not checked out his channel, he has a very cool collection as well, and just got probably one of the most unique MTH European sets I think that's out there. It was the Duchess. I think he got the engine in like 6 cars or something. So
I'm so jealous.
My friend Rob has one of those. They're really cool.
Very cool stuff. And then, as Zach said, Sid, have you thought about finding the MTH Western Maryland M2 Challenger and 734? Yes. The Challenger is up on my list because it was a very cool big engine. Lionel made a Western Maryland Challenger, but it was just a UP1 repainted, while the MTH one was a better model that was more accurate. And same with 734. They're on the list, but not a priority at the moment. What else we got here?
Give me just a second here, guys.
No worries.
Oh, yeah. No worries.
Don't worry, I'll harass Sid for you.
Let's see what else we got here. There's just so many comments. I assume the Polar Express item. Oh yeah, I'm just.
I see. Sean said, "Someone say N&W." Oh God, he's foaming already.
Yes,
Quick, get the mop.
Someone did say NNW.
I wonder who that could be.
It happened to be. There's so many comments. I'm just going through this. Oh, I see. Looks like Pete Clark is here. Glad to see you here. Let's see the amount of people are. 33 watching. It's very cool to see you all here. I'm glad you're all watching. We have some cool guests on here, so I'm glad. And if you haven't already, smash that thumbs up button. Helps the video get into the algorithm and just helps out the channel in general. So thank you all for watching. And Zach said, speaking of Y6B, I really like Lionel. Oh, you would like Lionel to do 2156. 2156 is a Y class, but it is not a Y6B. It is a Y6A. It's the only Y class engine that still survived to this day, to my knowledge. I think the rest were scrapped.
Riddle me this, Sid, since you're a big N&W fan. Tell me the difference between a Y6A and a Y6B, because I'm no N&W steam expert.
The Y6A, if you look at a Y6A, the front, or at least from my perspective, it might not actually be it, but seeing the real one in person and just seeing pictures of a Y6A next to a Y6B, the front end, the front boiler is kind of shorter. Like the whole graphite part of the box is shorter, and I think that's one of the main differences. I saw a gentleman take a third rail Y6B and totally change the front end. It was completely different. The pilot is also a little bit different. Some of the handrails are different, kind of like on the big boys, how the radiators were moved around depending on like 4000 through like 4014 or something. They changed the placement of those, and also probably just things I don't even know, like boiler pressure and top speed, stuff like that. But it was definitely a more substantial difference than, say, an engine like, I don't know, say an M1A to an M1, just an M1A in comparison to an M1B. Obviously, there's some cosmetic differences, but the M1s, for the most part, were kind of the same with their look and their boiler pressure and stuff. But the Y6As definitely had a shorter boiler front, at least to my knowledge. That's the main
makes
difference.
sense.
How many points should we award him for that answer?
5.
Well, let's see. digging my bag of holding here. Aha, D20.
How many points?
And I rolled a 1.
Well, you get. That means you owe both of us a milk car now.
I guess those don't belong to me anymore. Let's go. Do you guys think that Lionel will finally make the Rio Grande Ski Train the Volume 2 catalog? I'm going to say something and then leave this to Johnny because he actually ordered the passenger cars. This is similar to, I think, a Southern Pacific daylight set they made in the past. They produced the cars first and then they produced the engine after in the second catalog. It's very likely that the Volume 2 catalog will have like a million F40s, like Amtrak, Rio Grande, Metra. That would be very
good
cool.
for me.
Yeah, very, very good. And good for Johnny because Johnny's a big F40 guy.
Yeah, it's become, not intentionally, my F40 collection, which will accumulate within the next year, was not intentional. Like I said, my first set was an Alaska F40. And since I ordered the Ski Train, I really hope they release Ski Train F40s. And I also have a Metra F40 on the way in. So hopefully they do make the set. Otherwise, I will. Well, one, I'll be happier because I get to save money if they don't, and if they do, well, then I can continue being in a special club that Sid's led me to be in, called the Wallet Witness Protection Program. Huh, Sid?
Currently, I've got 3. I've got 1 cabbage from the first run that Lionel did, and then I've got a Premier F40 and a Rail King Scale F40.
You have some nice F40s. Like I'm definitely a little bit envious of some of the ones you have.
Let me tell you, that Surfliner one I got, that was a right place, right time kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I really owe it to Matt for letting me know that sucker was on eBay because Otherwise, I'd have never found it.
I think there's a powered one up there right now, actually, of the Surfliner version.
Don't tell me that.
There's not enough. There isn't a Surfliner version.
What's that?
At some point, I still need to get around to using this darn thing because I still got it bagged up here, the F69 cab.
That thing's nice. I'm excited to see that project and see how it turns out.
I got to find a donor first. Not to mention, I still got to design the back of the freaking thing.
Yeah.
Aren't you in the market? Well, aren't you looking out for one, Sid? At least that's what I put. Aren't you looking out for one of those?
Yes,
I'm always looking out for something.
Yes.
The problem is capital.
Exactly.
Yes. I am looking for an F40 because I have my American Freedom train, and at one point the 4449 was by itself, not by itself. It was the GS4 at the front, a UP water tender, and then a F40 and
that one. Yeah, that was after the Freedom Train. They just finished the Freedom Train, and Amtrak actually asked them to do an excursion with them. So that was the Amtrak Steam Excursion.
I don't even know what phase paint scheme it was. You probably wouldn't.
I don't even think it was an F40. Come to think of it, I think it was an SDP40F.
No, that was a F40. It's actually the same version, I think, as your F40. Your Legacy. Do you have a Legacy one, right, Stirling?
I've got a Cabbage. I don't have a straight F40.
I think whatever the one with the guards and the windshields that Lionel made, that version, that phase. I don't remember which one it was, though. It had the really big red and blue stripes, but a very small white stripe in the middle.
Yeah, phase 2.
There you go.
I know it was a phase 2 engine. I just gotta... Let me look that up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly for my own curiosity.
This is kind of a breaking news thing. It's not surprising.
We already know, Dak, man. We already know.
Yeah, the Acellas, some of them have been canceled. Not a surprise because Pennsylvania one. Sorry, it looked ugly to me. Milwaukee
That
Road
one was terrible.
Milwaukee Road, yeah. The New Haven one was the only one of those weird ones that actually kind of made sense.
The New Haven and the UP, the way they did the M10,000 paint scheme on it, that one actually looked nice.
Yeah,
but alas.
But what's funny is they have the two Amtraks and then the War Bonnet, and then the most funny one is the Polar Express.
The Polar Express, that one made the cut.
Yes, that means
just like.
Well, here's the thing. I saw that and everyone cringed at it. And I thought it was great. And I'm not like one of those big Polar Express fans or anything like that. But I am a fan of anything that will make the world burn. And that is definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like your view on that is like it's like that one George Carlin sketch. Have you ever watched this one terrible thing on the news and just hope that it just gets worse?
It's worse. Yes.
Also, I sent you a picture of the Excursion, Stirling, on Discord if you're able to access it. I snagged a picture for you.
All right, let me jump over her real quick.
Let's see what else we got here.
Speaking of that, holy crap, that meme thing that they've put in there as of late.
Let's see, there's so many comments. I'm just like, there's tons of comments that I just have to skip over because they're not really directed at me. Well, they're people are just talking to themselves, or that just sounds
talking
wrong.
amongst themselves.
Hey, now
Sid,
you gotta have an intelligent conversation
think?
with somebody.
Sid, what do you think? Just brick wall.
Look, if you get any problems with any trollers on the stream, just beat them with this.
Beat him with the baseball bat.
It's as my favorite store owner put it. He had a giant.
Hello to my little friend.
I saw a store owner. He had a baseball bat hanging from the ceiling. He had a big sign that said the anti-theft device.
Good one.
That's funny. But yeah, the F40. Well, yeah. I am looking for one, but like you said, I said about stuff in the Mohawk. It's just not on the. It's not like a priority, or is it something that I'm like dying for? Though that is a cool excursion I could recreate, but I can already recreate a cool Freedom Train excursion with my FEF and the 4449. That FEF can be used with so many things. The
Oh yeah, they
UPS
double-headed. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got the picture. That was an SDP-40F.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you look towards the back, there's an extended section on the back behind the radiator section, and that's where the steam generator was.
Ah, see, this
The
is why he's
F40s
so professional.
The F40s did not have that.
Ah, see, that's why I'm just a 4449 foamer. Anything else, I don't.
Here, I've actually got right here. Let me grab this. I actually have a little example here. Let's see. Here we go. Haha, in scale.
Ooh,
Very small example.
trains that could fit in your mouth.
But now this is a Kato SD40-2F. But it started as a SDP-40F. And if you notice right back here, you see that extra section behind the radiators?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is where the steam generator was. Now, when Santa Fe got, I think, 20 of these from Amtrak, and when they did that, they took the steam generator out and just filled it up with ballast, and they took all the equipment off of the top and just smoothed that out.
Yeah.
So several of these continued on Santa Fe and then later BNSF after Amtrak got rid of them. So that FP45 that I reviewed a few years ago, this is what the prototype actually was. It was not an FP45. It was an SDP-40F. Fun fact, this is also the only SDP-40F left in existence, except for the two that are out at the test track at Pueblo, Colorado.
Right. So what you're saying is Sid needs to buy even more obscure engine.
Even more obscure. Great. Yeah. That would be a very cool engine to find, though. That's going to be fun to make that work, or find something that could be turned into that.
I mean, you could start with an FP45 as your basis.
Yeah.
But you'd have to do a lot of modification to the rear and also to the front, because both versions, the Amtrak and the Santa Fe versions, both had different nose configurations. Like later on, BNSF actually cut notches into the nose of the SDP-40Fs, so that way they could add actual steps. Because before then, they just had almost for one thing, as built, they didn't even have a front deck with handrails. They didn't even have that. So they had to add that later on. And then as far as steps go, most diesels have kind of like stairwells that lead up, but the SDP-40F basically had ladders.
Okay. Huh.
So like I'm gonna, since I'm on this little tangent, I'm gonna try to find some examples here, because why the hell not?
While you post some examples, Sid, you want to answer the question that's up right now?
Yeah, I will answer the question, because it would be very cool for us to get some scale Strasbourg engines and cars in the next catalog.
Everyone's been wanting that.
Yeah, they've been teasing it for a while with the semi-scale sets, and they've now made a scale engine. Actually, two. One is accurate. One is half accurate. It was
almost there.
I think the Camelback
It's almost
they had
there.
I think their Camelback was like
like a 4 or something.
It only had 4 drive wheels. It didn't have 6. But that would be very cool to see. And I know, Matt, you're a big fan. Your picture there on your logo is I believe 475 or 90. I can't tell which one it is.
It was an 040. It was that Reading Camelback.
Yeah.
I just looked it up real quick.
You know, it'd be really cool, Sid, for your layout, if they did make scale Strasbourg stuff. Get 475, run it side by side with 8444, and play the Shining Time music.
That would be very cool. Plus, I'm a big, I could double head. I think there was a double header once with 611, 475, and 1218. I believe that was done once, or was it 4501?
It was 4501, and then they also did one with nickel plate 587.
That's what it was.
Because they did 587 for the Asheville Historical Society convention, and then they did with 4501 for the 25th anniversary of the STEAM program, which ran out of Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
Which people go on and on about that triple header, and it didn't even go all that far. They took 4501 off in Ottawa, just outside of Chattanooga.
Yeah.
It
And then
happened,
1218
dang it. That's all that matters.
And oh, absolutely. And it was great shots. But nonetheless, they took 4501 off and then continued with 611 and 1218 to Atlanta. So, more you know.
They did, Zach, but it costs way too much money now, and they're impossible to find.
What version of 475 would you want, though? Would you want it with the high headlight or the centered one?
Okay, if I wanted to be accurate to the Excursions, I believe the Excursions had it in the center, but I like it with it on top because of Thomas the Magic Railroad.
Same.
I mean, both versions are accurate to the way the N&W had it, but personally, I like the later version because that's the ones that you see in like Winston Link's photographs.
Mm-hmm. It
That's
fit in
why
your
I was
layout really nice.
That's why I was thrilled when they did that for the when 611 came to Strasbourg because that was just like a big throwback to the Winston Link photos.
And we have someone's asking, what are your opinions on MTH Premier QSI engines, pros and cons, and if they're worth it for the price that they are generally sold for? They are amazing engines. They are actually the best platform, in my opinion, that MTH ever made. They are very sturdy. They're just very beefy engines. They were from that time when MTH was putting tons and tons and tons of effort and quality into their models. And the QSI sounds are just super nostalgic for me, at least. And if they work, they're fantastic. And they're actually not very expensive. Some can be, but you can find PS1 engines for pretty cheap, and it's well worth the money. And if you don't like the old sounds, you just get them upgraded.
And if you do like them, stick a BCR in them, so that way you can continue working them.
Yep. You have a PS1 P42, the scale. What number is it? Or you had a Rail King one at one point?
They're both Rail King, but
Yeah.
I sold that one, and then I had another one that I found later on, and I turned that one into a dummy. But that's strictly because I needed it to run with my other stuff that had PS2 and PS3.
Yeah,
and I didn't really feel like upgrading it. Plus, I got it for super cheap anyways, so it wasn't that. I mean, I gutted it, but it wasn't a terrible loss.
Right.
I'm big into PS1 stuff. I have a PS1 T1 duplex, a PS1 set of Centipede that are a big worm of a set of engines. They're like massive. They're sitting on my shelf here, and one of the engines alone. One of them alone is like almost as long as an S2 turbine with its engine and tender together. It's such a long engine by itself, and then two of them is just crazy. But then I did a video recently on a PS1 Class A that I got. They're big, beefy engines. They're well worth the money.
And if you take care of them, they'll run forever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got to get myself one.
Sooner or later, I got to send you my Tennessean and have you upgrade that.
That's such a beautiful engine.
I can't believe I got that thing. That was another place, right time kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it has that old style Sooth smoke unit, which those things are crap.
Yeah, those
it burned out just not that long after I had it and took the headlight with it. So.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. That's a Weaver engine. The same thing happened with that Blue Goose I worked on recently. I uploaded a short of that engine running by, but that's a very beautiful engine, and
right.
They're actually, funny enough, MTH designed that whole platform is almost the platform that all upgrade kits is kind of designed to upgrade. Like TMCC upgrade kits are they were designed around PS1 engines because around 2000, Mike Wolf and Protosound 2 and 3 upgrades. Mike Wolf said at York, Protosound engines suck. He said that, which you're just destroying your whole like product line and just saying your own crap is your stuff is crap. It's just horrible to do as a business owner. But
That's Mike Wolf for you. I've met him in person.
Yes.
He is a real prick.
Yes, yeah, and that's kind of why the whole upgrade market is kind of built around PS1 engines, is because people they listen to him and they think it's crap when some of the stuff is better than Legacy or TMCC or Protosound 2 and 3 stuff, just not in sounds, but just the quality in them. Let's see, 210.0, there's a core custom 210.0 in the TCA Museum.
Really now?
Interesting. I've never been to the museum, so I would not know. So that's cool. What else we got here?
I was up there once and didn't even know it was. I didn't even know it existed at the time. So
Yeah.
as sad as that might sound.
Anything else? Not much else. Well, yeah, that's just the same comment from before. But I'm gonna turn some of my trends down here. Let's see what we got here.
Ooh, is it choo-choo time?
The exciting of train.
Time. Let me adjust my cameras, and you guys can keep answering questions, or people can ask questions and do whatever they want. Here's for all you NW fans. Here you go.
Oh, so he's giving us free reign to torment the chat now, or is he?
Ooh, I like the sound of this. We can roast people.
That's classic Proto too, isn't it?
Yeah. My baseball practice or something.
Oh, poor Burnsy. Now he's trying to show off all his tank cars all at once. Oh no, it finally ended. There it goes.
Oh, there he is.
He's been here the entire time.
Okay, kids, here comes the run by.
Closely listed. Yeah, it's a very colorful train.
Burnsy is actually a Lionel Legacy, I believe. Ah, yes, Confederate fried chicken.
If Carter's still here, how do they like it down there? How do they like their KFC down there, Carter?
I say it's overrated, and I have proof right here.
Yummy, delicious proof.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh, actually no, Burns. It's actually a Loco sound engine. That's what the FEF is. He's planning to upgrade it to Loco sound and huge incandescent bulbs.
Sid should totally do that. Like, find something that's just absolute junk and put Loco sounds and incandescents in it just to make somebody cry.
Well, hey, April Fool's is coming up.
Too bad we didn't think about that sooner. We could have totally done something with like the engine I sent him, where he like just melts it or something like that.
He's gonna show it off. It's like, oh, I added a nice antenna to it. It's just made out of tin foil. It's just towering out of the tender.
It's like old school rabbit ears.
Can't seem to get a signal on the. Ah.
And all of a sudden you pick up a freaking PTC signal from it. Like,
This
well,
here-
I don't know how you did it, but you did.
Man, those new buildings look awesome on his layout.
And Menards makes some really awesome stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
If I had the space for more buildings, I would, but I'm gonna have to go flats for a lot of my stuff.
You got a nice layout going on there, though. So I have faith in the
Hello,
future.
is this PGH train fanatic? I need to get off my lazy ass and actually finish painting some more scenery here, because I did the ground cover over here, but I never got around to doing it over here. So,
Gotcha. Mine still. See, my layout's in that kind of like weird phase of like it has scenery like over here, and if I lift it,
but it doesn't at the same time.
it doesn't at the same time. Like there's bare patches of homosoap that's peeking through, and really terrible Hobby Lobby trees.
I mean, the Hobby Lobby trees aren't bad. I mean,
No, not at all.
but I mean, they're certainly not the worst in the world.
If you're just trying to get some trees done and you don't really care about the super realism and all that, then they're perfectly fine. You get like 20 for 20, so a buck a tree, that's not half bad.
That's not bad at all, especially in this hobby.
Oh yeah, 3 trees cost you $30 in some places. So.
Oh yeah.
You'll see all these accessories on the layout. That's what
Sid, I'm not sure if you're trying to talk or not, but we can just barely hear what you're saying.
Yep. This distant whisper of a Sid. It sounds like you're talking through a bathtub.
Let me switch that back.
You need a microphone, man.
There we go. There's the audio quality. Choo-choos are too loud. They're working against you.
maybe now it's what I was saying was all the buildings are from that new collection I got, and there was a large box of trees.
Ah, I see. Honestly, when you first sent me a picture of those, I didn't think they were
Oh
flats.
God. Trainstorm Pierre Marquette production says sounds like Sid's gagging.
Oh my god.
Someone
There
must
goes
have sent him an.
There
Someone
goes
must have
our
sent him an
PG
email.
rating.
Someone must have sent him a. Nah, he it's out of just. It's because someone sent him an email saying they want a Vision Line Big Boy converted to conventional.
Will you wanting run by? I give you run by right here.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I can have my phone do a run by, but I don't think that's the same effect. You can tell Sid's just in heaven right now.
I really am.
And we're merely the observers. I think we're getting screwed on this one, man. I am in paradise, and now you must watch.
Still can't get over how many tank cars he's got in a row there.
Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up.
Yeah! Alright, chat, you get that? Screenshot that face he made. A meme material.
I still have that one of like where his camera froze on him that one night. He's doing this.
That was not my fault.
I don't care if it was your fault. It was still funny.
Yes,
I've got some gems I have to send you. I got some absolute gems of Sid. So who's the poor folk who live? Who's the poor lad who lives in the big blue house behind all the industrial shops?
That sounds like me. Because my house is literally blue.
I see Stirling's taking up residence behind on your layout now, has he?
Stirling has moved on to the Pacific Norfolk and Western. He's moved on to the
And I'd have a peaceful life too if it wasn't for these damn trains.
More whistles, you say?
I won't deny that, Burnsy. You probably have the biggest collection of Sid's Trains memes.
I've only got one meme of Sid, so I'm on the bottom of that totem pole, unfortunately.
I would estimate he has at least 20. At minimum.
Louise.
Going to the register room to sign out.
That's Rich Melvin, isn't it?
Yes, I believe that one is Rich Melvin.
Yeah, that's definitely him.
I'd recognize that voice anywhere.
I was trying to turn that my fan on because I'm smoking myself out. There we go.
I mean, hey, we're less than a month from 420, so.
There we go. Okay, so now we've stopped running trains for a minute. I can look at my chat section.
He's back.
I am resisting the grin on my face to have a grin on my face because I love that FEF. I surprisingly I've not ran it for like hours and hours. I just keep like running it for little bits of time. Let's make this even again. There we go. What's being said now? Memes of Sid. Shocker. Sid is like a modern day Gomez Adams with the trains.
Somehow, I can see you as a lot of things. Gomez Adams.
Hey, there's your Halloween special right there.
Yes, Matt, that whistle on the J is very nice. Anything? Just more memes of me. Oh, Kylo Ren. More!
I want every gun we have to fire at that man.
That's enough. That's like my dad walking in when there's all the smoke in the room. That's enough. No more. Rich Melvin talking. Yes, that is talking, but that's why we installed that fan in here, because if we didn't, it would be even worse. Plus, the collection I got, the engines have spring mega steam smoke fluid in them, which spring actually smells really good. I do not like hot chocolate, Burnsy. I do not like hot chocolate. It's just sugary. It's weird having a sugar smell come out of trains. It doesn't work.
You hurt, Sid.
Matt's train Matt's train dungeon. Didn't Sid lash up 3 engines once on a stream? Yes, I did. I did do that, and it worked, but it also just didn't work because of just my whole setup at the time. I probably could do it more easily now, though I don't think I should. Oh, hold on.
Weren't you running like 5 locomotives? No, 6 locomotives at once. Oh no,
Oh no, he's got a
scheming now.
mischievous grin.
I have a certain engine from a certain someone with a dummy coupler on the front, and I could put it behind a Union Pacific engine. It could really, really annoy that person right now. And they're on the stream, and it'd be quite hilarious. Maybe I'll do that in a couple minutes.
I don't know. You should stick a UP big boy tender behind their engine.
I should. That'd actually be cool. Throw the dummy coupler on the front of.
You should throw my T1 on the back of the train.
One on the back of the train, but does it even have a coupler on the back? I don't think it does.
Yes, it does. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. Not on the tender.
That's the. Doesn't your J1 have a?
The
coupler?
J1 has a coupler, but not the T1.
Fried 4 eggs and bacon. Good lord. Root beer. Wait, root beer smells all right. Oh, they're just talking about the smoke.
The smoke fluid, yeah.
Carter says, "I didn't like that look."
I'll put a T1, a Lionel T1. Wait, no, T1 tender on your T1. Oh, that's a joke with Burnsy. He has a Lionel T1 duplex, and the tender isn't accurate because it's a tender from an S2 and not T1 tender. The T1 tender has this cover that goes over the little plate that you can stand on, and that's something I always joke with until he actually buys a accurate one. This is an interesting question. Sid, have you thought about finding the K-Line Black Bonnet set? Yes, I know a gentleman, and I work for a gentleman that has 4 of those sets. All the freight cars. Yes, 4. He has all the freight cars, all the passenger cars, all the engines for 4 sets. He probably has the most of like anyone. He buys everything to sell, which is kind of why he probably has that many. But yeah, I've thought about it, just not a priority. I have my war bonnet set, and that's all I need for the moment. I want to know what happens when you mix and match tenders of a legacy engine. Actually, I can do that right now. Watch this.
Uh-oh.
How does Workbench
Get ready,
Wednesday?
everyone. Sid's about to blow his layout up.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to grab this tender. This tender is not. This tender does not have the sound set you would think in it. It has the wrong sound set in it currently.
I recall.
So bear with me on this, people. But I'm going to put this Pennsylvania Railroad Atlantic tender behind my FEF, and you can see what it sounds like, or listen to what it sounds like. So there.
Sterling's already wincing in pain.
I'm very concerned now.
I'm kind of concerned as to what that. Ow!
Oh my!
Let me get that bigger so people can understand the trauma that I'm currently going through. Look at this. Look at this.
This is so cursed.
Look at that. It's like it's pulling a block of wood.
It's like that one kid in the neighborhood who's dragging that little red wagon behind them.
Looks like he's got a yard slug behind him.
Let me turn this on, and I'll show you that it does work, even though it looks horrendous. Well, that turned on, great.
Uh-oh.
Because I don't think ahead, because I'm being dumb. I'm being big dumb.
You have square brain.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to wonder, you guys are going to be like, what the heck? Okay, there it turns on, and let me turn this up some. This does not have the sound set for a Atlantic. It has a sound set for a certain NW engine.
That's so weird.
Oh, the cringe.
There's so much going on at once, and none of it's right.
Yes, it is a hooter whistle on a FEF. That probably like never happened. Did the FEF ever wear a hooter?
I don't believe so.
Like an excursion service never wore a hooter?
No, not to my knowledge.
Nope, not this one.
Ugh, that just sounds weird and it looks horrible. Good, but that's going back with its engine it's supposed to be with.
Is it though? Is it really going back to the engine it should be with?
Well, yes, it is, but it's not good. The sound set is not for the right engine. Come on, dumb thing. There we go. Okay, time to restore some faith in myself. So
That's
You
probably
better kill that track power first.
I'm a master at putting them on.
I don't know. George of GFW Trains might have you beat there.
There we go. Ah, that sounds better.
Sanity
Turn that on.
restored.
So there's, to answer that question, yes, you can mix and match them, though it sounds weird and looks very weird.
I said I'm sending you a bill for my therapy after this.
Oh, I'm sorry. What else we got here?
There's a lot of questions asking why.
Oh, we have Trainman Dan here. Cool.
Train Man Dan.
Glad to see you on the live stream. What else? This is why I dislike the K4 with the Atlantic tender. It's cursed looking.
Cursed looking.
That's probably the most Franken engine you've ever made.
Oh, I know what K4 he's talking about. He's talking about the funeral train K4.
Mm.
They had the weird headlight and all of that. I'm on for a while. That shouldn't be able to work. Why does this work?
Because we got to get our nightmare fuel from somewhere.
Because why not, says Trainstorm.
You wanted to sleep tonight? What fool.
To answer your question, it has Y6B sounds in it because I was messing around with electronics and was trying to actually show Stirling what articulated sounds sound like on a normal engine. That's a future project or a current project. Speaking of, your parse came in.
Yay!
Yes, I can start working on that.
Now for my part.
Victory screech!
Didn't know
I am so sorry, headphone users.
Proceed.
Talking about
You
giving
again?
nightmare. Talking about giving nightmare fuel. Let's see if I can do this really quick.
I don't seem to understand.
Can y'all see that?
Uh-oh.
What?
What can we see?
What are you trying to? Are you trying to share your screen?
I was trying to, yeah, but this stupid thing is. Hold on. Now I got it, I think. Here we go.
Yeah, I can add it to the stream. There we go.
Ooh, I don't like that. It hurts.
Oh, the Homie Express with the clown. Oh my gosh. You're going to recreate that with some figure on the side of yours, aren't you?
I must say, this hurts because I have this thing. Homie, don't play that.
Question for all three of you. What did you guys order from the 2021 catalog, and what do you think will be the next Vision Line locomotive?
Ooh, I like this question.
I had to pull the plug on my pre-orders, unfortunately, so I'm out on this one.
Yeah, none for
All
me.
I'll say is life's a bitch.
I completely agree.
That can be the case.
But how about we skip to the Vision Line locomotive question then?
Yeah,
That's an
you got
interesting subject.
that earlier. Yeah, I'll just for the Vision Line. I think it's going to be a T1 duplex because they mentioned wheel slip, and that's the only engine that comes to mind when I think of wheel slip, and something they haven't made in a really long time.
Mm-hmm. I'll defer this to Stirling. He can say it first.
No, I think the T1 would be a good choice for the Vision line. I will say it has been a long time since they've done a diesel, and I wish they could do something like that. Because the last one we got diesel-wise was the ES44 and the Genset, and we're not getting reissues of those because they've used plastic in the tooling for both of those now, so you can't use die cast in them anymore. So they would have to completely retool them.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Everyone in the chat, can you hear me talking? Because someone told me they couldn't hear me. I think it might be them. Yeah. I think it's fine. Yeah, just tell me in the chat if you can hear me, everyone.
I guess.
Yeah, everyone's saying yes. Oh, sadly, yes, Burnsy. Wow.
He's salty. I guess for my what I'd like to see in the Vision line, I talked with this with Sid and Burnsy and some other folks as well. This is one that is kind of out there, but I think would be a really good candidate for the Vision line for people who would like to try the Vision line but can't necessarily afford the $1,000, $2,000 engines. A rotary snowplow, like a scale rotary snowplow, would be really cool. Because imagine the smoke features would work perfectly fine for that, and not many people have winter layouts, but it'd be a nice novelty feature, and that would do really well, I think, because it probably wouldn't cost as much as you'd think it would.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot, actually, because no one makes a good scale rotary. I mean, we've got spreaders, but we don't have rotaries.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Almost all the money itself, or the money you're paying would honestly be for the tooling. It's easy to have a motor spin the front blade and then a smoke unit turn on at random. It's all just the tooling. So that probably would be a good seller. Kind of like it would be no different than say the reefers or the tank cars. It's just kind of a standalone item that can be used with other things if it's that kind of. There's some that are powered.
It doesn't even have to be powered. You just have another engine push it.
Right. And even if they managed to get it under the $1,000 range, I think it would still be worth it.
Oh yeah.
If it was like right at 1,000 or under, I think that would be a good price for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Same. Let's see here. Oh yeah, they're just saying good idea.
Okay. Yay! Hire me, Lino.
Especially the Santa Fe. I saw this
Slagcat Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad says you could use a better mic.
I think the issue is this. How do I sound now?
A little louder.
Yeah. I'm surprised because this is the mic I used to record and I don't sound like garbage when I record. Must be StreamYard.
That or you may have it too far away.
That probably. Maybe look at my settings, but I'll keep talking. But I posted this RW channel. He said the F3s for Vision line, but they are a legendary item, but you can't really do much to an F3 to make it out of this world crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with most diesels. You really can't do that much with them.
Yeah.
The closest we've ever gotten to an item where I consider like this is cool enough to be Vision line level is the breakdown B units.
Yeah,
those
I
are really
agree.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like a reissue of those would be really cool.
That would
because they haven't done those since like what, 2006, 2007.
I didn't even know they existed until Matt on West Chicago Railroad posted a video on them.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's probably the early 2000s. 2900 class. That would be kind of interesting.
That would be.
This is so true and would be so sad because it would just totally prevent the young. That market is young people. If there's older people that like that, but that's such. Strasbourg is loved by so many young people in this hobby, and if they did a Vision line engine, it would completely destroy the market for it because then none of these young people could afford it.
It's like, you want Strasbourg? Okay, you can have your Strasbourg for a price.
For a price. Then there's another one. There was this Vision Line Santa Fe 2900 class. Thoughts?
Personally, if they did a big Santa Fe engine, not necessarily for the Vision line, but just the regular Legacy line, I would love the Santa Fe 210-4s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The 5000s.
Yeah.
Those are
I
cool.
actually saw 5011 at the Transportation Museum. That was very cool.
However, with 2926 being restored, or close to being finished being restored, rather, I think there's going to be a big market for 2900s and 3700 class Northerns for the Santa Fe here soon.
Mhm.
Bernstein says Vision M1B.
What does this say?
That'd be cool. I don't know if it'd be necessarily a good Vision line cannon, but that'd be a nice model to see in general, though.
The
Yeah.
FP9 really wouldn't be that good of an engine for the Vision line, especially because the FP9, a lot of other railroads got them in the aftermarket, but for the most part, they only sold in Canada.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the FPA4s. They only sold in Canada. But, to each their own.
Mm-hmm. Let me Vision Line M1Bs. But see, it goes back to the same thing with steam engines. Like, I don't think there will ever be a Vision Line steam engine that's completely streamlined because you can't show a lot of detail and you can't always put a lot of features because they're covered up by all the shrouding. Obviously, the daylights are streamlined, but
My favorites.
your favorites. They're streamlined, but they have the ability to show all the detailing and the features. Like with the M1, it's like, what are you going to find on the M1 that's super unique and different that can give some feature? Like, Lionel's done just about every smoke feature you can think of. Like I said the other day, what's next? Air pumps that has steam shooting out as it's like going along or something. It's
The only
just
thing
almost.
the only thing I could think of is like having like little the pumps actually like move, but that would be so tedious and would fail so quickly. The only thing you think of is just like maybe the tiny people from the movie that they made.
Yeah, it would be so hard for them to do anything more. I hope they don't do any more features like this, the water scoop feature, because I didn't like that one. It's a good feature. It's just I think it's time and effort wasted on a feature that it can fail to begin with. Plus, I just don't think it was very creative is the best way to put it. I just don't think it was executed as well as maybe it could have been.
No.
It's to me, it's just like it's a really cool idea. It's definitely thinking outside of the box, but at the end, it's mist. It's steam. It's not water. It's not the effect. You can't really sell the effect unless you know the context.
Yeah, it's really hard. Let's see, Train Man Dan. I really hope Lionel does the Class A at some point. Better yet, if they do at some point, then they have to make a PRR FG1 class.
That would be cool.
That would be a great fantasy model, actually.
Yep. That would be very cool. And I'm an NNW person, so that would be very cool. The reason why they don't is because they don't have the tooling anymore, sadly, due to the whole MTH lawsuit. Hopefully they can either make a new tooling or get one back. That would be a very cool engine. People say to make that a Vision Line engine, but again, it's almost like such an iconic engine, and it would almost just destroy the market again. There's so many young people that love that engine because they've either seen it, they've like watched all the documentaries and stuff, and it's the same thing with the big boy. Like, it's hard for young people to have a big boy because they're so expensive, especially now since 4014 runs. But it would definitely be cool to see a Class A and, of course, that fantasy made by Lionel. What else we got here? Ooh, another one. Here's another one. It would be interesting. The whole thing with Vision. Here's my thing. I almost sometimes think Lionel should just get rid of Vision Line in a way and just produce legacy models, just like make legacy their top of the line thing, because
The technologies match the branding of the Vision line. The technology for a base level, whistle, steam, and all that stuff. It's been done in the legacy. So I can get where you're coming from, because the stuff that made Vision line exclusive
is standard now.
Is standard. The Vision line's kind of run its course. I see where you're coming from.
It was kind of the same thing with the JLC line. They did all steam engines except for the GG1 was electric, and they were doing all these engines super detailed, new toolings, and then once they hit the Allegheny and the Big Boy, they kind of just done their thing. They had made all these unique engines, but then they had Legacy. So then Legacy was their new thing, and it just had kind of run its course. So I almost feel like Vision Line should kind of just die away.
And if you think about it, the last several Vision Line models have been JLC reruns.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We haven't gotten a new tooling from the Vision Line since the Centipede.
Yep.
Yep.
And
so
that one wasn't really.
It was cool. I liked it.
It was cool. I love It was very cool. It's just very almost impractical in a way. That's probably the best way to put it. They're just they're such large engines, and then you have to run them as a unit. I understand. I would never run them separate. It's just some people want to for some reason. Like they made a Seaboard.
You clearly haven't been to Seaboard Airline country, my friend.
I was going to say Seaboard. The Seaboard one is by itself.
We can put the pitchforks away. Not yet.
But they kind of look weird by themselves. But yeah, that was the last new one, and ever since then, it's just been remakes of old toolings or redos.
And I get it. That's how Lionel makes their money. He's from
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's how any company makes their money, is by rehashing old toolings.
Mm-hmm.
But sooner or later, it would be nice to see something new. I mean, granted, we got the 210-10-2s again, which I think is fantastic, because the first run of those is so hard to find, and I feel so blessed to have one from that original run. But, this second run is great, because now it gives everyone else a chance to do it. But what's new on it? Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really need that?
It's fun, but it's not. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think the last time I even used that darn Bluetooth app was when I did that one little short that I filmed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
I just use it to mess around.
The Bluetooth needs to not become their advertising technique. It needs to just become like an old feature, like old TMCC engines, and I think legacy engines still have it. It's called Dynachuff, whereas you speed up and slow down. Dynachuff was actually had to do with the whistle and stuff, but it just needs to be a random feature at the bottom of the list. It's just a thing you have that can be used, but it's not something. I don't think it should be used as like their main advertising thing, or it's like new with Bluetooth, and yet it's just the same exact engine.
Bluetooth is a good. I'll put this out here to be fair as devil's advocate to Lionel for this one. Bluetooth is a good addition, like for when you're starting out, because as I said before in this and other streams, but when I bought my Challenger, so before I even got my Challenger, I got the Legacy system. And I got the Legacy system really excited, and I was like, I'm going to use it. The only engine I had was a conventional Air Whistle Polar Express, so you can imagine my disappointment. So to sit there for literally, it was like, I think a whole year and a half to just have the system and not have anything to run with it. It was really annoying. So having the Bluetooth to jump from Lion Chief 2.0 to TMCC, to Legacy, that's cool. But that's something you should, as Sid said, a feature. It shouldn't be the defining feature. It's important and it's great for people restarting the hobby, and that's something I'd like to explore. Just see what it's like to restart from now in 2021. But it's not something that you should be toting as your main defining feature for your veteran hobbyists like ourselves.
Yeah.
No,
really
it's not.
what Tim did mention the electronics in the motors. Your 3000 actually has very ancient electronics, and the motor was actually an issue they had early on, and they've resolved that. I would assume Lionel has their quirks and issues with producing things, but the old one still runs.
Don't say.
You don't say. Yeah, but yeah, the electronics are new, and RW channel did mention yes, like the Bluetooth can be a saver if you're like
exactly.
They say if you have a Lion Chief collection of engines, but then you want I don't know, like a smaller legacy engine like the H10 or an Atlantic or something like that, or a B6, and then it has Bluetooth in it. That allows you to get it, and you can still run it with the same stuff or the universal remote. But like you said, Johnny, it shouldn't be the defining feature with a super high-end model.
Mm-hmm. I used to be a Bluetooth hater. But I support it for the stuff for the new people. It's very important. Not for when I'm trying to buy a $2,000 engine. Then it's not as important to me.
Wait. Is Stirling asleep? I don't. Am I like not seeing something?
I don't think I am.
Let me pinch myself real quick.
Let's see. Nope.
I would like to SD20. Interesting. See, with the obscure models, if it's something like a diesel or a steamer that's not like out of this world, I think that would be a very cool engine to do. But again, just leave it in the legacy line. Don't just make it Vision line because it's weird. Because if you can't make something out of it other than just it being an interesting looking engine, there's not much else. There's no reason for it to be in the Vision line.
Yeah, justify the sales. It's got to be at least 25 people or something around then, and it's just like, you got to make enough. There's definitely engines I'd like to see, but
yeah. See a trains and things.
I was about to ask, isn't he supposed to be at work?
Yeah. He's
bye, Richard. Thanks for having me over.
Well, you're not wrong with this, but you're sort of wrong in a way. They've done more weird road names and stuff in the past like 2 years than they had like all through the early 2000s and the early whatever teens or whatever you want to 2010s. They haven't. Well, they've recently been doing more. Plus, they have their whole fantasy scheme thing, so that's even more diversity. But yeah,
and
it
more
would be
controversy.
Cool. Yes,
flames.
So, very much so.
This is what I throw out in terms of that, though. With a fantasy scheme, you can't claim that they botched it because it doesn't exist.
Yep. Totally. That's so true. And I'm going to say this. You are the only person that I feel it makes sense that you own that 49er because
yes,
you're that person. You just have so many. You're like the person of oddball items, and that's just your thing. That is like your thing.
Are you trying to call me weird?
No, I'm weird. Look at me.
I guess the best way to put it, I've told this to Sid before when he and I have been chatting. For 49er Challenger, to those who own it, then I'm glad you got it. But Stirling, for some reason, for you, it doesn't make my blood boil as much. And I don't know why. Everyone else, it drives me insane. For you, I'm fine with it. And it's a very strange effect. Like, I can't describe it.
It's like it makes sense that I have. It's like, of course he would get that.
No, but like, if you think about it, you have everything you have is unique and different. Like, I don't have any pilot models. You have like what, 2 or 3 of them?
No, I only have one official one, and then I have 3 that I got from the liquidation auction.
Yeah. And then someone's at my front door. Then there's your 49ers, a fantasy, the bipolar, and then there's things that are realistic, but just no one else has, like your HO stuff. Like, I've never seen any of those, like all those diesels you got recently. Like, I've never seen that. No one else has it, and it's your thing. it just fits with your collection. Plus, you know so much about. Like I keep mentioning to you the whole vomit bonnet thing. Like I had no clue about that before you did it. So it's just like it's just very unique and it makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe it's because other people are such. I guess it's for people who are such sticklers for realism, and then out
Yeah.
of nowhere they'll get a fantasy unit, and you're like, "What the God,
Yeah.
stop it!" But you, it's like
Yeah.
you can tell you're doing it for fun. You're doing it for fun, and you do also appreciate the realism and the history. You have
Well,
that perfect balance.
Here's the thing. Back when I did HO regularly, the thing that I learned from people who do HO, full time, and I'm not knocking HO. It's the most popular scale for a reason. However, some of the people in HO really are. They take the prototypical operation stuff way too far.
Oh my God, the cards, the freight card things.
The way bills. Some of them have they have fast clocks that you use to time the railroad that you have to set your freaking watch to. Some of them have punch cards where you have to punch into the layout for an operating session. They have an offsite. They have a dispatcher that's in another room with an actual freaking CTC board.
I get authentic paychecks at the end of every work session.
It's just like there's no room for fun. I mean, to me, that's going to work.
Yeah, I give them credit for the amount of effort they put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like two rail people, I give them credit for all the realism. It's just personally, it takes it, like you said, to the point of it. It's like I'm doing actual work. I'm not enjoying just running the model, which to them, it's probably just enjoying it. They probably would come like run trains with like one of us and they're like, you guys are like toddlers. But
and that's the thing. They bash anything that's not prototypical. I like to refer to these people as the French chefs of model railroaders. Well, seriously, because with a French chef, everything must be fresh.
Yes, yeah.
With the HO model, everything must be prototype to a T, and that's the way it is. And if you do, you're going to hell.
And so someone that Johnny and I have got to know more recently is Train Storm or Carter. He's an HO guy, but he's not like that. He enjoys it for the fun and everything, but he also can understand that, and he's part of a club. But as you see, he totally agrees with you. And
that's another thing that bothers me. There's a club down in the Atlanta area, and it's almost like a little witch cult with the way they act. Like you're talking about stuff like let's say I'm interested in possibly joining their club. So I don't know how to build a modular. I don't know the Fremo standards for building a modular for a layout. I need info on this. And let's say I ask someone from that at a train show, well, join our club and pay us and we'll tell you how to do it. Really?
Yeah.
That's not shady at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, keep your secrets.
We need a blood oath before you join.
Well, here we go again.
Here's trains. Oh, wait, wrong count. I'll go back to that one. But this was one. I wonder if Lionel could go the MTH route and then have 2 rail and 3 rail options. Third rail does it as well. Wait. Oh, yeah, MTH used to do it. Well, actually, Lionel did it in the early 2000s with the T1 duplex, and I believe there was another model at one point that had 2 rail. And then they had their brass models with the Smithsonian that were also 2 rail models, but those were like ridiculously expensive. But
those really weren't meant to be ran.
Yeah. No. They could go the route. It's just they don't see the market because when you think of the name Lionel, most people probably think of post-war trains, which are on scale and they're not super accurate. But he's grabbing his turban. I bet you he's grabbing.
I was putting the vomit bonnet back.
Oh, I thought you were grabbing your turban. I was like, oh.
Pitchforks down. Pitchforks down.
I mean, I can grab it if you want.
No, I don't need to see the turban. I'm just like, the post-war stuff isn't super realistic, but that's the fun side of it. And I don't think Lionel sees the market there for it.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, 2-rail O scale is really a niche market.
It really is.
Yeah.
Matt, like all the companies I can think of, like Max Gray and Overland and KTM, like
Atlas does 2-rail.
Yeah,
Third
but
Rail
like-
does 2-rail, but
The-
really,
yeah, the majority of the companies are gone. And if there are some, they're either unknown or they're the mainstream people, but it's just for those people. It's not like Lionel's gonna dive into that because they already have enough on their plate with 3-rail and an HO and S gauge and well, they don't really do G gauge, but they have their plastic crap and then yeah, the plastic trains aren't really actual models; they're just toys. But,
yeah, and they think what we run are toys.
yeah.
Tell that's my bank account.
Yeah, and that's what some troll put on one of my videos recently. He's like, "Don't dare refer to these things as models because that's what they're not. So have fun with your toys because that's what they really are."
Dang.
Yeah.
Why even do that? Just enjoy your side of it. Leave us alone. We don't want to know it. Well, we're kind of bashing them now, but we're bashing you. You bash us. You bash us. We bash you. Also, note.
All
I don't think
aboard.
Yes. Our trains do not derail like that theirs do. Their rails are so tiny they derail all. It's like cheap HO trains
But
that derail.
look at it this way: when our stuff derails, we get a light show,
Yes, that is true.
and our house blows up in the process.
Our trains might be destroyed, but we have a really cozy, warm fire just nearby. Ooh, that's a question that Sid might like.
What it before and got some. I'm just like, I'm glad that our club is not like. Yeah, that's what Carter was saying. He's glad that his club isn't like that.
I think he was telling me about one time. There was a guy from the UK who was running at their club, and he had a bunch of Hornby stuff running at the same time as his Père Marquette 1225 was running.
Well, that's
Wow.
cool. I like I like HO stuff, whether it's American or Hornby's cool. I watch Sam's trains over in the UK. He's in the UK, right?
Yeah, he's in the UK.
He's probably the one European person I watch. There's a couple others. He's the main one that comes to mind. I'd love. Oh, wait, wrong one.
That one's a good one. But hello, conservative train guy. Hello.
The Kingdom of Tsar.
This is the
Is that
question
right?
I'm talking about.
This was one that was asked, and actually, you might be seeing one of those very soon from a certain someone. You'll just have to wait on that one.
Me. It's
Nudge,
mine.
nudge, wink, wink.
It's totally mine.
Yes. Here's a. Speaking of, love the Hiawatha in that picture.
It's beautiful.
The club on that part of the Detroit 3-railers. It's the type of group where. Yep.
Nice layout.
A good kind of club.
Yes. What is this one? Legacy Count sounds amazing. I imagine alongside a Legacy Vanderbilt, a remake of 7. Wait.
Legacy Commodore Vanderbilt sounds amazing. Imagine alongside a Legacy Vanderbilt remake of a 777. I would pay to have both a 777 and a Legacy 777.
I'm like going cuckoo because I'm just not reading it right. You read it. Makes
There
a
are paper
little,
jam noises in his brain right now.
I'm like,
He's hearing
It's like
Vitus in his head right now.
Stirling.
There took a second to hit me.
Yes, I did say it correctly. Yes.
Let's see something I'd like to see.
That'd be interesting. That'd actually be pretty interesting.
It would be because they would also have to throw an E9 into there as well, because BN, for their third unit, they had an E unit instead of another F unit.
Did anybody make accurate versions of BNSF's office car special?
I don't think so. I know MTH did a set to go with the 4449 when it was like that dealer appreciation set, but that paint scheme on the cars was fictional.
Yeah.
I think I've ever seen those cars before. Actually, I'll have to do some research after this.
They're silver with a black stripe down the center, and they have the BNSF Santa Fe logo, the BNSF Santa Fe style logo on the side. I mean, it's okay, but it's just okay.
Yeah.
I think they intended that to match the engine more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with this. The same
Yellow Belly Hudsons, yes, those are long overdue.
Something I've looked into more recently is the L2 C&O Hudsons. They look like a Kanawha or a Greenbrier, but they're a Hudson. So it's just it's unstreamlined Hudson, which is very cool. It would be cool to see a model. Oh well, I think there was probably one made in brass, but no 3RLO scale.
What was the model, Sid?
The K2 C&O Hudsons. I'm pretty sure they made one in. Yeah, you're on like fast trains.
Let me take a look.
It's possible they made one. I have whenever I say that to people to a couple of my friends that are big brass people, they're like, "Oh, here's one." I'm like, "That's not 3RL." But yes, they've probably been made in no scale. They just aren't
3RL.
I mean, I'm seeing an HO. Well, that's not. The K2 is a Mikado. Were you wanting a Mikado or a Hudson?
A Hudson. Was it a K2A maybe? Like no, I'm saying K L2A Hudson.
L2A. Okay.
I said the wrong thing. L2A Hudson.
Let's try that.
Yeah, I said that wrong.
Let's say yeah. Let's see. Overlando scale, 2-rail, HO.
Oh, here's one. Here's a question while you're looking for.
Oh, I like this question.
Sid, what's your favorite loco you're working on right now that's not yours? Well, I'm gonna have to go with Stirling's T1 because I'm a C&O guy. It's just plus the fact that it's unpainted is just so cool, and it's just MTH history.
That is pretty cool.
Let's see what else we got here. I want to. The TMCC Yellow Belly Hudson is sort of scale. It's not. They consider it semi-scale because of the front truck. The cab has no detailing, and I believe some other little details are off. But the overall size of it is a scale model.
It's close.
Yeah, it's very close. It can pass as a scale one, especially if you detail it.
I'm curious. This was something that was brought up on the podcast that actually both of you were on, the Matt and Matt's O-Scale podcast. The 49er itself, has that ever been done in scale? And second of all, Stirling, would you get one?
I don't think I would ever get. I know the 49er has been done in scale.
Okay.
Because Sid, didn't you send me a link to one that was like a brass one at one point?
It was a Weaver set, and back to the idea of like the paint schemes not being accurate. The 49er, I think, was actually a silver passenger train with the 49er engine, or like a gray passenger train, but the Weaver cars were that 49er paint scheme. But yes, Weaver made a brass model, which is beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as me getting one, I'll be honest, I don't really like the 49er engine that much, which is strange because I have that Challenger. But I don't know. To me, I don't like the streamlining on it. The paint scheme's all right, but it's very brown, which I mean was typical for UP at the time. But
it's a giant baguette going down the track.
Yeah, basically. And for whatever reason, my Lionel one, maybe some would argue, oh, they didn't use the same shade of brown, and maybe that's the case. But I think the way they did that looks better, in my opinion. So, but that's just me.
Right.
However, I will say that 49er N&W one that the MTH made for Rail King.
Ooh, no.
I've been threatening to get one of those for a long time.
I've been threatening to get one.
Let me tell you something. Back in my day, I dated a chick who was a rail fan. First of all, never date someone in your hobby. Big mistake. But she was an N&W fan, and she hated that thing. And I threatened many times to order that thing, and I know MTH still has a surplus of them. I very easily could if I wanted to. It's one of those things like and there are other people who don't like that thing at all. It's like, why would you get that? Why would they make that? I'm like, like I'll just light the match.
I feel like it's what after your disclaimer, whenever you do reviews, it's like if I don't do this and I don't stand for that, and if you don't like that, you just see a clip of the engine rising up from flames
with like satanic music and such.
Here's a this. I think this should be the other way around. I think all engines should have road-specific crew talk, but then the Vision Line engines should be the ones with whistle steam and all that crap. Like I would rather just have. I would much rather have the road-specific crew talk than all the smoke features. They're cool, but the road-specific crew talk really made it feel just unique. The engine unique. It's kind of like,
if they did it right.
That's true. That is true.
I know this is just my OCD.
Yeah.
But the one thing I hate about this thing.
Yeah, the Rio Grande one.
No, 4014.
Oh, 4014. I couldn't tell what was one. Yeah.
like 4014 or something like that.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. It is one of those things that it bothers me more than it should. Like it's not 4014 or 4014. It's 4014.
Well,
like, I literally remember watching an old VHS tape that was from like Britain, and 611 was shown in it. They called 611 611.
Well, no. Here, I will give you it is wrong and it sounds weird, but here's the kind of context behind that engine and some engines from the past. The 2005 or 611. The crew talk said 611. They said that. They said that, which is a little different. But then the engine. I'm pretty sure the tower comm said it differently. The same thing with like my Empire State Express Hudson. It says the engineer says 5429 instead of 5429. But then the tower comm says 5429. Now I'm pretty sure there are clips of the JLC Big Boy sound set inside your Big Boy, because if you listen to them next to each other, they sound very similar. So I think it could just be the same guy that recorded it. But
I know all the crew talks came from the Vision Line Big Boy.
I think the most sinful out of a pronunciation of a road number is this is Southern Pacific 4449.
Oh,
4,449. That makes me cringe so much. That's like.
You're not wrong, but you're not right.
I mean, basically, and that's it. It's not wrong, but oh my God, does it make your head hurt? What's funny is I watched the live stream of 4014 when they were in Promontory, and UP's CEO was standing out there, and he was on the radio with Ed Dickens on the podium.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
He's like, UP CEO chairman, whatever the hell his name was, to the UP 4014. Here comes Ed Dickens over the radio. This is UP 4014. Go ahead. And it's like you could tell he was trying to correct him because he said it several times. 4014, and he just kept saying 4014. It's like this is how a railroader says it. This is how a pencil pusher says it.
It's just like there's an emphasis on the 4014 as he's saying. Well then, wait, no. Well, here we go. Then
someone dial 611.
611.
I got one for you. Dial 1-800-BITE-ME.
I don't think we can say it out loud, Sid, but there's a certain URL I think you really wish you could say out loud right now.
Oh my gosh, that's so bad. That URL is so bad. It was funny because
it's a George Carlin bit.
It was a George
Yep.
Carlin. It is horrible. That is horrible. That is not kid friendly at all. That's being left behind, but it is hilarious. It is hilarious. I would wait.
611, what's your emergency?
611, what's your emergency?
God, what have I done? Well, guys, on that note, I'm going to have to leave y'all. I got some stuff to take care of here. So,
Oh, yeah.
Thanks
It's all good.
for having me
joining.
on.
Thanks for chatting with
Thanks
us.
for joining. Uh-huh.
It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Same with
See
you,
you
yeah.
later.
All right. See y'all later.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. It's always cool talking with Stirling, and I assume everyone was having a good time because the chat's been blowing up and everyone seems to be having a good time. We had some good discussions there. It was
Yeah, it was really fun to talk to.
Stirling has a good dynamic to think because he's very knowledgeable about the real stuff and the models. And that was really fun, and Johnny got his wish to talk with Stirling.
Now he knows I'm not entirely crazy, just mostly.
No, this is, there you go. What's your railroading emergency? There you go.
611, what's your railroading emergency?
So let me go hook some freight cars up to my engine. I think we're gonna close this out. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours.
Oh, goodness.
I think we'll close this out by running some trains around. Maybe John, if you want to, you can throw your trains up. Obviously, the sounds will be all crazy, but if anyone wants to see your Burke run, you can.
Oh, goodness. Are we having the aforementioned whistle battle?
Is that what we're doing? Whistle battle between 8444.
8444 and 759.
Yes.
I've been sitting cross-legged for the past 2 hours. My knees.
Yeah.
Geez.
There we go. So let's. And by the way, everyone, Johnny's layout looks way better than mine because of scenery.
Really amateurly done scenery.
Let me change my camera so I can. What works better? Nope, that's zoomed in. The epic whistle battle. Put in the chat which whistle you like more. More power.
More power. Power.
8444. We got three votes for mine.
That means I gotta go take my Burke for counseling after this. It's so traumatized that no one likes it.
Tim, you're not wrong, but I love it.
I also got the other train I have on the layout going as well. Not nearly as loud, but should move the camera over to here.
Is a really cool engine. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Oh, should I do the lash up that I mentioned earlier?
I think you're going to be the king of lash up over there, Sid.
I think I'll do it. I'll do it just for Bernsey. Just wait and see, everyone. This lash up's going to be very interesting. Let's see, what engine did Sid put on the track now?
I like how the entire chat's starting to turn against Bernsey for some reason. Bad Bernsey, sit Bernsey. I don't know what he did wrong. What did he do? So we got here, folks. We got an FEF leading the charge. Ooh, we got some Pensy power. I believe it's an M1. I believe specifically Mr. Bernsey's M1. Bernsey, put in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you suffering watching this right now? Scale of 1 being it doesn't bother me at all, 10 means it hurts. It hurts so bad. More Pensy power. And -6.
-6, oh my gosh.
-6. I'll leave this up to chat then. What hurts more? The cursed lash-up or the cursed Franken engine?
Yeah, Randy, they really do. Man, meanwhile, 605 sits there all day. I'm gonna go shop at 605.
I'm gonna start slowing my trains down, give Sid the spotlight. Sid, you must be in heaven over there.
so in heaven right now. I haven't actually been able to run trains like this and have fun on a layout with like some buildings and sort of scenic looking layout in a long time.
Well, I mean, to give people context, like what I met you like early the beginning of what was it? No, I met you like last year, I think. Towards the later half of the year, and you had just torn your layout up again to redo it, and you've only been able to run trains only like a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So Sid's been many months. I'd argue maybe like what, half a year without choo-choos of his own.
Yes, it's been a really long while. Well, that lash up worked actually really well. They synced nice and good together. And then I love my Unshrouded J. I didn't show it very much because I'm just enjoying this FEF so much. But yeah, I noticed Matt kept saying it's the 605 is just such a cool engine. It's a workhorse is a good way to put it. Let me shut these down.
That's such a nice engine. I know I've said it many times during the stream, but that is one of the nicest FEFs I've seen. And when I get mine, because I will get one, I will get a Lionel FEF, whether it's first gen or second gen, I don't know. But I'm getting it repainted and renumbered like yours.
Oh yeah, it is such a nice engine, and it just looks very elegant because of the striping and the silver white walls on the wheels and the silver cylinder caps. It's just a very nice looking engine. Definitely stands out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that's definitely going to be a gem of your collection.
Definitely. And let me just readjust my camera one more time. And well, I think we're going to wrap up. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap up the stream here. We've been going for almost 3 hours now.
Like 3 hours now.
Streams always go long because it's a good time. We get to talk. We had a unexpected guest of Stirling, which was just amazing. Talking with him, talking real trains, model trains, just the community in general. I got to show off some new goodies that I have, and Johnny got to show off his layout some. And I said it before, go check out everyone's channel. Go check out Johnny. Give everyone support, like and subscribe. Make sure to show support for others because we just want to grow this community, support each other, and make it feel like a nice, welcoming community. You don't want to just shut others out. You want to welcome everyone into it. And I think this was a really good stream. It allowed me to mess around with StreamYard some, talk with friends, and talk with all of you.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope to do more live streams as always, and I hope you guys all enjoyed. We will see you in the next one.
Yep.
See you, everyone. Yeah, see you, everyone.